it's an important enough relationship to where the bow, the instrument, and the player need to be, I guess, almost married to everybody. Like, it has to be that kind of, think of a marriage, think of finding the right person for you for the rest of your life. That's kind of what you need, and it's one of the hardest things to find. And if you find it, you're very lucky.
I have found, bows that have sounded wonderful with fiddles that I've used, and they've been just very difficult or awkward to handle. And so it's too bad, because half of the match was there and the other half wasn't.
I mean, you can hear it. You can put 20 bows on a bench, and 20 great bows, and you can play through them, and you'll be lucky to find one that will really wake up your instrument. But when you do, it's kismet, and it's that you buy that bow.
That's an amazing sound. I mean, it pulls an incredible sound out of this instrument. Buy Pernambuco bows now, because we've reached peak oil in terms of bows.
The scarcity of the wood is a problem.
It's interesting. I can make the parallel with oil. I mean, are people going to turn to solar power? Are they going to turn to wind? Are they going to turn to nuclear power? Who knows? But they're probably going to try a little bit of everything in the process, and they'll probably do the same with woods.
It's a group that I think 170 some nations have signed on to, and they have authority over endangered species throughout the world, both flora and fauna, and they're in charge of enforcing trade and restricting trade in endangered species of all kinds. And most countries have signed on to it, and most countries are abiding by it, but there's still a black market trade in it, and it's going to be interesting to see whether even this can prevent the destruction of the species. I honestly don't see it. This was kind of the golden period here in the 20th century and in the 19th century, and I don't see it carrying on the same way in the future. Bows will be available. There'll be bows made from this wood around for another couple hundred years, so people will always have Pernambuco bows. But for new demand, it's going to be alternative species, or it's going to be carbon fiber, but nothing will be the same. And it'll be interesting to know whether there'll be people willing to commit their life to work in something they know not to be as good. So I think ultimately it's going to be carbon fiber, because you can make them in a factory, and you're not going to need a lifetime's commitment to understand this wood and to work with it. So bow makers as such won't exist. They'll be, factory workers, and you just won't. This experience won't be available. I've trained a few people, no one currently. There's one person in Philadelphia who's succeeded in making it a career, and I think he has a great future in it. And I hope he can accumulate enough wood to make it worth his time.